Okay, this is game 6 between Melkor and TeRRoR. Melkor, in the red, has a 3-2 lead. TeRRoR needs to win to stay alive in this best of 7 series. Team random civilizations for this game, and we ended up with the Spanish. So we have Melkor in the red, and TeRRoR is the scout in the green. Take a look at TeRRoR's base first. Let's speed this up a bit. He has deer inside of his walls, berries towards the back, main gold towards the back, really nice, both his boars and his wall. Stone kind of forward, other stone outside his walls. Extra gold, weird location, really close to his base, and both of his golds forward, outside of his walls. Meanwhile, Melkor's base, stone in the back. We'll need to put one tile of wall here or a house or something, and this stone can be safe as well. This gold, kind of forward, but at least in the walls. Boar inside the walls, gold outside, and main gold. This part of the gold could be safe, this part could be harassed. Deer, pretty close to his TC in the back as well. And did find the sheep outside of his base, and scout fight, TeRRoR getting the first hit on the scout. And just going to be chasing him into this back corner where the scout should get trapped a little, but TeRRoR is going to run back. And we've seen TeRRoR, he's been going forward with his scout so far, scouting the walls of his opponent in the Dark Age as much as possible. Doesn't normally do that in ranked games, so it's interesting to see him bringing the scout that far forward for the Masters of Arena tournament games. And Melkor will bring in his first boar as he's going to start pushing in deer with his scout. Boar coming in right nice and underneath the town center. And I'll take a look at TeRRoR as his boar is coming in right now, sending the villager to berries, and he'll go to that next boar with the next villager, build a house, and then take the boar. And we'll see his scout, still scouting the middle. Has seen Melkor's walls, but ooh, he just missed that stone by 3 pieces of stone, all one tile out of his line of sight. That'll be unfortunate for him not to have seen that. But now he's going to bring his scout back and start pushing in those deer, as he's going to put a second lumber camp here. That's a nice little nook to keep a lumber camp in. This boar also nice and underneath the town center. And Melkor is still pushing in his deer, has a nice easy push. And they're going to path around the town center and run away, but come back and he'll get it as this boar comes in just as that deer finishes. Very well timed and nice and pretty far underneath the town center as well. And we'll see, still on that one lumber camp, gonna start sending more to wood. We'll see if he builds a second lumber camp, and we'll also want to check whether or not the players go to stone. With the Spanish, of course, you can make a castle and go for conquistadors. You also have really good monks, so you can push with monks. They have a few different options available for them, as TeRRoR, a bit behind in bringing in his deer, he's gonna start taking the sheep sooner. And that deer gonna run away. TeRRoR's just gonna send the deer out after. And TeRRoR is gonna be going for a stone, so he will be going for the castle. As Melkor is up to the feudal age on 25 population, had some really nice deer lores. Gonna stay on one lumber camp on 25 population because he's up so fast. He's not gonna need as much wood because this hunt will last him longer. He's not gonna need to build as many farms. But 3 villagers on gold. Looks like he did do loom, so he does need 3 villagers on gold. And now I'm going to send another villager to wood as he starts seeding some farms. Just needs to make sure he has the food to click up this time. And as TeRRoR, he's going to go up on 28. He's going to have 2 on gold, 3 on stone, and the rest are going to be 4 on each lumber camp. Yep, and the rest are going to be on food. Now Melkor is up to feudal, and we'll see him going down with market and a blacksmith. And we'll see where he tasks these villagers. Going to gold. So since he's putting more villagers on gold, that's a sign he might be looking to get aggressive, go with some monks and some mangonels. Monks, of course, are a pretty decent counter to conquistadors as TeRRoR goes up with a market and a blacksmith. And Melkor will be the first up to the castle age. Let's take a look at his scouting. Has found 3 of the relics, another relic right here outside of his line of sight. And let's see, where's the last relic? I don't see the 5th relic right now. I see those 4. Scout fight, TeRRoR again, and it looks like the other relic is, there you go, in Melkor's base right next to his gold. So Melkor looks like he has a really nice advantage with the relics, all 5 of them favoring him. 2 mining camps. That one might get a bit crowded, but it's going to be able to keep that gold saturated, bring the villager forward to help out in the scout fight, as he's going to be up, and we'll see where he puts the monastery pretty far back inside of his own base, and we'll see if he goes up with another monastery or a siege workshop. So double monastery from Melkor, and we'll see how TeRRoR, what he can scout, and if he can react to that yet. He's not going to be able to see those monastery yet. Since Melkor went up so fast, he could probably be pretty safe in assuming he's not going for a castle, but TeRRoR is going to put a defensive castle on the stone that will help secure the stone since both of them are forward. But doesn't have stone for any more TCs. We'll see what he does behind this. Making a hole in the wall, and yep, he's making conquistadors. They could have trouble dealing with these monks. Now, triple monastery from Melkor. That should be a pretty nice counter to the conquistadors, as we'll see when TeRRoR decides to, or when he scouts the monks. 4 monks out already, Sanctity coming in to give them 45 HP, and he's just going to pick up all 4 of these relics straight away. That monk could go down, but Scout will be nope, Scout will die, won't be converted, but the monks are going to push the conquistadors away. And more monks coming out. Melkor will have control of these relics. Could get 2 converts on the conquistadors right here. Ooh, that monk pathing around conquistadors. Ooh, just not going to get in. And monks pushing the conquistadors away. And TeRRoR is just going to manage to snag himself 1 relic. Melkor was close to getting all 5, but still he will control 4 of them. And we'll check his stone. He does still have 200 stone, and he is taking more. He could add in a castle, or he could add in more TCs and try to work on his economy behind this. TeRRoR, meanwhile, adding in farms, and he's going full out into the conquistadors, adding in a second town center in the back on this gold. Now, looks like we got some conversions out here. As TeRRoR is going to be forced to run back. Melkor has out quite a few monks right now. It's 7 monks, 3 conquistadors, and his scout's still alive. And more monks in his base, still creating more monks from those monasteries. Has a lot of villagers on gold. And looks like he's just going to go 1 TC monks and stay on stone, eventually put up a castle. Because it's going to be hard. TeRRoR is still producing conquistadors, but he's going to need a lot of conquistadors to be able to engage those monks. He can stay defensive with the conquistadors for a while, keep them underneath the castle, but he can't really push forward into the monks. And he does have a slight villager lead on 2 town centers. He will be ahead in economy when Melkor is only on 1. And Melkor is slowly building up that stone. We'll see if he puts his castle aggressive or defensive, as both players continue just to boom up. Not much action going on in the middle. Melkor is going to come back to his base with his monks. And TeRRoR has a lot of gold stockpiled. We'll see, maybe he'll use the market to balance out his economy. Hasn't really been putting down farms in that town center. Continuing to produce conquistadors. Starting to get a more sizable number of them. As 12 so far, and 1 monk. Melkor is on 13 monks, and 3 of those converted conquistadors. And Melkor is up to the Imperial Age. He is going on 1 TC, and TeRRoR is doing Heresy. That's going to make him much better against the monks. Heresy, of course, being the technology where your units will die instead of getting converted. That's why he was using up all that gold. Now we're going to see him putting down more farms. Has a sizable villager lead, will have a much stronger economy. Now he can push forward with the conquistadors into the monks. And we'll see what he decides to do here. Melkor going up to the Imperial Age, castle coming out at the front of his base. We'll start getting at his own conquistadors as the monks come forward. Picks off the scout. But that's 1,000 gold invested into Heresy. That is quite expensive, but it can also be quite powerful. As now, Melkor has invested a lot of gold into those monks. Let's check how many monks that is again. That is 19 monks at 100 gold each. That's quite a lot of gold. And not going to be as effective against the conquistadors anymore. Weather Archer armor coming in. That's the armor for the conquistadors, of course. It's the only line of blacksmith techs from which they benefit. Now Siege Workshop also coming up in the front for TeRRoR. And block printing for Melkor, so investing even more into those monks, getting the plus 12 range. Of course, conquistadors are still expensive, so monks will be able to, even if they just kill them, that will be worthwhile. TeRRoR scouting with the monks, and now he's going to engage the monks, and this will be a crucial fight. How many monks can he kill? How many conquistadors can stay alive? Conquistadors will get quite a few monk kills, but the monks will be able to heal each other, help them stay alive. And picking off monks, picks off quite a few monks, but is losing his conquistadors. Only 3 left, and he's going to have to retreat. A lot of dead bodies there. And Melkor is still doing the Imperial Age monk attacks, as TeRRoR has gone up to a second castle and is going to be pumping conquistadors. And let's check his resources. Doesn't look like he's near the Imperial Age yet. Is just going to be going full out Castle Age, pumping conquistadors from 2 towers, getting out some battering rams. With the rams, he can pressure down that castle. And he is ahead by 22 villagers, will have a much stronger economy. And you stalled out for a bit right now, but Melkor getting a second castle. He's going to have a lot of trebs. Those Imperial Age trebs are going to be able to pressure these castles, and TeRRoR won't really have an answer other than rams in the Castle Age. And we're going to want to watch TeRRoR's resources and see if he decides at some point that he wants to go Imperial. Putting an outpost on the front, that'll be a great decision, give him some vision of what Melkor is going to be doing. As Melkor is just has a few villagers on gold, still on stone, could be looking up to get even more castles, building a stable in the back, and coming forward with those conquistadors, doing some scouting. Let's see what he sees, and you'll see the Siege Workshop. Looks like he didn't quite spot the second castle, but Trebuchet is going to come forward, and we'll see if how effective the rams are. Looks like they're first going to focus down the Siege Workshop just outside the line of sight of that outpost. TeRRoR now built up another massive conquistadors, and not very many monks left. Looks like there's 9 monks there, and the rams going to push forward towards the Trebuchet. Conquistadors not going to be doing much damage to the rams. Monks, of course, they need redemption, and they need to be right up close to the rams to convert them. Melkor is doing bloodlines, though. And we'll see, TeRRoR needs to keep those rams alive. Let's see if he can get some nice shots on the monks. Trebuchets are going to retreat, and TeRRoR now will start to take out the monks. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's a good engagement. Melkor is now down to, looks like, just 2 monks, and TeRRoR has a lot of rams. With these rams, he can start pressuring the castles. And what's that villager going to do? I was thinking the villager might have built a gate out here and made it harder for the rams to get to the castle, but TeRRoR's going to go back. There's 2 castles there, as he doesn't think he can quite push in at this point. Has stopped building rams, no production in the castles, and he's going with a barracks in the back. Might be looking to build a stable and do bloodlines, as the wolf's going to come in and chase after the conquistadors, and boom, the conquistadors don't like that wolf chasing after them. But these rams now are undefended, and TeRRoR probably needs to engage here, keep the rams alive, even though he doesn't yet have bloodlines. He outnumbers Melkor. He needs to bring up the rest of his army forward, and can start to pick up some conquistadors, going to force Melkor back. Wolf in the back of the base. It still doesn't have loom. That villager might go down if the wolf got the first hit, and villager goes down. TeRRoR not reacting in time to save that villager from the wolf. TeRROR's now put up a 3rd TC out on his outside gold. Has a huge villager lead at this point. And Melkor is still on 1 town center. Has 2 trebuchets, putting up a 3rd castle. Gonna make it really hard for TeRRoR to push in. Finally doing loom now that the villager died to the wolf. Doing wheelbarrow, that is a bit late for wheelbarrow. Especially when he has this many farms. Villagers are walking quite a long distance to drop off that food. But now 6 rams for TeRRoR. And quite a large mass of conquistadors. Melkor going to push forward, equal on upgrades right now once Bloodlines comes in, but he's going to snipe off a couple of these low health rams. Now another ram coming out, and looks like TeRRoR's going to stay castle and just push with rams. And now getting some shots on those conquistadors as Bloodlines is about to come in. And there we are. Now they equal on upgrades, and TeRRoR can start taking these fights. Needs to keep his rams forward though to soak up some conquistador fire, as he is going to start pulling ahead in his economy, up by 30 villagers now, as these conquistadors shooting at each other in the middle of the map. And dodging a volley of bullets there. TeRRoR microing, moving his units side to side, trying to dodge all those gunshots from the conquistadors. And let's see, Melkor now. He's going to be producing from 3 castles though. He's going to outproduce TeRRoR, who only has 2 right now. But it looks like TeRRoR almost has a stone for the 3rd castle. And now another engagement here. Melkor now has the final armor upgrade, so he has the advantage. But with the rams there to soak up a fire, TeRRoR should be able to take this fight, trying to position his units to protect his stone villagers. Another ram coming out for TeRRoR. We'll see. Is stockpiling a lot of food, and now has the stone for another castle, gonna drop it off and put the castle out on the front of his stone, gonna protect his stone miners, and gonna take another fight. TeRRoR has the advantage in numbers. We'll see if that makes up for the lack of the final armor upgrade. He has a production here, but Melkor now, with the production advantage, is able to mass up his conquistadors faster. And now husbandry and fletching coming in, that will help the castles do more damage against the conquistadors if they do run underneath the castles. Now he's going to need to push in with his rams if he wants to. Oh, and did that castle just go down? Trebs just took out the castle while the villagers were building it. TeRRoR did not get that stone back. That's a huge loss for TeRRoR. That's a great trebuchet snipe by Melkor. It's huge, because now TeRRoR is going to be down in production. Even though he has the stronger eco, it's not going to help him, because Melkor is going to be able to outproduce him anyway. Now, if the rams can move forward and take out the trebuchets, but the trebuchets are going to pack up in time and retreat. And rams could take out a castle, though. TeRRoR needs a good engagement here, needs to take out a castle. And rams are going to move forward. That's a lot of rams, but they're low on health, and with this massive conquistadors, they can do a bit of damage to the rams. Only 5 rams left for TeRRoR. This one's very low on health too, and looks like that castle probably will stay up with all those conquistadors there to defend it. TeRRoR now fighting underneath the castle, losing his army of conquistadors, and Melkor is going to start outmassing him. That 5 rams, conquistadors do a lot of damage to that ram once they're massed up. And that ram also really low on HP. That ram gonna go down. TeRRoR's gonna lose all his rams, gonna lose his push, and now just going for mass archery ranges. Looks like he might be going for skirmishers to counter the conquistadors. Very nice trebuchet snipe by Melkor that came in clutch, sniping that castle. And that castle's gonna stay alive. Melkor might want to send some villagers to repair it. TeRRoR now out of rams, had so many rams, lost so much gold on those rams. And now Melkor is going to have more conquistadors because he has more castles. And that was just a great fight. Now TeRRoR is going to do an elite skirmisher. It needs to bulk up his army. He has the stronger eco, so he needs to put it to use. Skirmishers look like the only way he's going to do that. But he's nowhere close to the Imperial Age, doesn't have much gold. Finishing up his gold pile in the back. Does have a TC on this gold. Those look rather safe for the moment as the battle is happening over here. But the conquistadors could snipe off those trebuchets, but it looks like they're going to focus instead on the other conks. Trebs are going to run back. That's unfortunate because the villagers can repair it. Melkor, though, hasn't repaired this castle. TeRRoR has 3 rams, could maybe push into the castle with the skirmishers to deal with the conquistadors. Could take some more efficient trades, but now he's just keeping the rams there to soak up the conquistador fire while he gets out the skirmishers. Things are looking good for Melkor at the moment. TeRRoR has a lot of resources. He could sell the food, maybe try to click up to Imp, but at this point, he really can't afford that. He needs army. And Melkor, really low on resources, just continually producing conquistadors. Could queue them up a bit better, but looks like he's not going to be anywhere close to the elite upgrade. And lots of dead conquistadors in the middle of the map. TeRRoR now with 6 rams could try to make another push at that castle because Melkor hasn't repaired it. If he can get down that castle, then he'd be equal in production. But Melkor almost has a stone for another castle. Could buy a bit more stone, put up a 4th castle. And the rams are moving in, but nothing's not really doing much. They're just not going to do much damage to the conquistadors without the skirmishers there. And not really enough skirmishers to engage here. They're going to go down because unless TeRRoR can mass them up. And some of these archery ranges now idle. TeRRoR looks like Looks like he did sell that food, is going to try to click up to the Imperial Age, but that's risky when he doesn't have the army he needs to defend against these conquistadors. And just going to try to continue pushing out rams. He does have a much larger economy, but Melkor has had time to add in another town center, and even a third town center over here on the side. Taking more stone, he has... TeRRoR now can add in another castle, and Melkor can add in another castle as well, and we'll see, can TeRRoR defend these rams? And maybe Melkor can add in, does have a stable, could add in either some cavalier or some, go down the light cavalry line. Just try to protect these skirmishers. TeRRoR just now doing handcart. Ooh, but elite conquistador coming in for Melkor. That'll be a very good upgrade for him. And just heard a university go up in the back for TeRRoR. We might see ballistics, or maybe he'll save for chemistry once he gets up to imp. Capitan upgrade will be very good for him, though. Can't let his rams die to the conquistadors, though. Needs to keep these archery ranges producing. Needs to keep the skirmishers on the front. Needs to keep them queued up properly in the ranges, as the elite conquistador upgrade is done now, and gonna make it much easier for Melkor to engage. TeRRoR now not really. Only has 2 conquistadors, trying to reduce a bit more, but he's not going to have nearly the numbers that Melkor has. Melkor's done a great job of keeping these units alive, and we'll see how well the skirmishers can pick them off. Now TeRRoR has put another castle out here to protect his gold. And the rams coming in from behind. That's just a lot of conquistadors, though. All those skirmishers are clumped up. Looks like they're being taken down. TeRRoR now doing ballistics, trying to get out more of his own conquistadors. Melkor's numbers are going down, but he still has a sizable mass here. He will clean up the skirmishers. Now, his castles are undefended, but a knight is coming out, and that will help deal with the rams and the skirmishers. TeRRoR's archery ranges are queued up. He has lots of resources, could be adding in more archery ranges, but he needs a lot more production to be able to take these fights. Melkor now up to 90 villages, and he's going to have a strong economy now. He's going to be able to sustain this production. Cap ram coming in from TeRRoR, but his rams are going to die before that upgrade comes in. Conscription coming out to increase his production. But now, cavalry armor coming in from Melkor. He will be adding in some knights, and we'll see if he's adding in some more. Yep, another knight coming forward. Doesn't quite have the resource to go for the cavalry upgrade, but he can add in another castle. And Trebuchet is going to start taking out this castle. And now the knights going to make the skirmishers much less effective, and these conquistadors are just going to body block the rams. They're not going to be able to get to the trebs, and TeRRoR needs to repair this castle, needs to keep it up if he wants to get out. Conquistadors doing bracer now, giving that extra attack to the skirmishers, and he's trying to use the conquistadors to take out the knights. And now producing, let's see, he's producing as many skirmishers as he can, has them queued up, but needs to add in more ranges. Doesn't look like he's adding in more ranges anyway, has a lot of them queued up, but needs to produce them faster. And this castle, trying to repair versus 2 trebuchets, there goes all his stone. Looks like he might even be buying more stone. But trying to get this one ram, if he could snipe this one trebuchet, it'll make it a lot easier to repair. And that treb going down. But Melkor now coming forward with villagers, putting a castle right next to TeRRoR's castle. Ending up, looks like he deleted that. Yeah, still has the stone. Looks like he did delete it. He's gonna move that over, put it in another spot. And that treb down to 31 HP. This castle's gonna stay up, but Melkor has another treb from behind. And adding in more stables, doing plate guarding armor, he's gonna be adding in more knights. And Melkor has the resources, could be going for cavalier soon. And that's gonna make it really hard for TeRRoR to fight using just skirmishers. TeRRoR, though, still with a 30 villager lead. Lots of them idle, though. Town center probably needs to reset its gather point somewhere. Now, lots of idle time as those villagers need to repair the castle. Another castle coming forward from Melkor, as TeRRoR just trying to hold on, needs to hold on to stay alive. Looked really good at the beginning, but then that clutch trebuchet snipe as the castle was being constructed and didn't yet have the HP it needed to survive. And now forward castle gonna serve to protect that trebuchet, as TeRROR's down to 1 siege workshop, or has another one in his base, but he's not producing from it. Lots of idle villagers from TeRRoR, 28 idle villagers. That's Melkor, despite having fewer villagers, actually has more working villagers, and now finally adding in more archery ranges on the front. Ooh, and Melkor adding a nice wall in front of his trebuchet. That's going to prevent the rams from getting to it as easily. Could maybe have gone with a gate, continued over towards the castle and over in this direction, but the knights are going to be able to take out those rams. They're going to go down pretty quickly. That treb's going to stay up. TeRRoR might need to get out his own trebuchets to get into a trebuchet battle. There's the Cavalier upgrade. Cavalier going to be so effective against these skirmishers. TeRRoR needs to keep the Conquistadors behind to keep them alive. And Conquistadors doing a decent job surviving against the upgraded elite skirmishers. Spanish, of course, do get fully upgraded trash units. Maybe TeRRoR could consider adding some barracks and making some halberdier. Halberdier, once they get in close, they do a lot of damage to the Conquistadors. But now the skirmishers are going to start attacking the Treb, but he's going to pull back. That castle is up. Lots of idle villagers around who are repairing it. TeRRoR almost out of snow, out of stone, and okay, Jon Snow and thought stone. Okay, and more farms coming up on the side from Melkor. Bit of a lull as TeRRoR is adding in. Yep, now he's adding in the barracks. Probably will look to do halberdier. And he's retasked these villages, finally dealt with those idle villages he had on that castle for a long time, rebuilding his lumber camps in the back. And he does have the larger military, but cavalry upgrades are going to come in from Melkor. TeRRoR could try to push right now, but he doesn't have the siege he needs. Looks like he's stopped producing from the castles and doesn't have much production. He is pop-capped right now, has 2 trebuchets. Those trebuchets will be able to pressure the castle, as his castle on the left is being attacked. Has a huge population advantage over Melkor and still could push in, as he's going to bring his army forward, coming up with the rams, going to move in on that castle, and has the villagers to repair the castle, has gold so he can continue to purchase stone, but those cavalry are going to be so hard to deal with just skirmishers until these pikemen manage to come out, as the barracks, not building anything from the barracks yet, and he's pop-capped so he really can't. And castle going down for Melkor. That's going to help TeRRoR be able to push in. Now, he's invested a lot into the stables. TeRRoR finally being able to go for Elite Conquistador, but Hussar are going to come out for Melkor. And good move with the pikemen, but he doesn't quite have the population to support them when he has so many skirmishers already. Could consider adding in more monks as well to deal with these conquistadors. If anything, it might force Melkor to do heresy as well. But TeRRoR's going to start running out of gold soon, as he does thankfully have that extra gold, but it is pretty messy near that forest, as TeRRoR finally, this castle has gone down, and that's going to make this gold vulnerable. Still has lots of gold left there. Yeah, he needs to be able to take that. And more barracks coming out, as those skirmishers really just need to... TeRRoR needs to find some way to allow the barracks to produce. Probably should look to wall up behind here as well. Could look to sell some wood. Needs to get that 600 gold for the halberdier upgrade. It is quite an expensive upgrade, but now lots of pikemen being produced that will be good against this army composition, but will he be able to get them out in time? Now dropping in population, about even in villages, about even in population. And the skirmishers are going to go down. Trebs, a bit out of position, could be vulnerable to the rams, but the Hussar are going to come in. TeRRoR needs to wall his base, make sure the Hussar don't get into the heart of his economy. Going to deny him his gold down here. Going to deny the gold out by the town center. And lots of raiding coming in. Rams getting some attacks on the Trebs. Trebuchets also deploying and attacking, killing the Trebs. And Conquistadors now... TeRRoR now has a massive conquistadors he can fight. Has the pikemen coming out, doing now chemistry. It'll add at least the ability to make the hand cannons and the bombard cannons. Could consider going for bombard cannons. And Pike's now going to clean up some of this cavalry and going to help push. Pikemen do die to the conquistadors, but once they get in close, they can do a lot of damage if the conquistadors get caught out of position. But so many Hussar now coming in, and TeRRoR is trying to come forward with more siege workshop. And still maintaining his population up to 162, but we'll need to start adding in more villagers, as Melkor is coming forward with more villagers, and we'll see what he's trying to do there. And putting a castle right on this gold, going to deny that gold, going to use the castle to destroy the town center. As the Trebs are going to come and take out the town center, all those villagers will be forced to retreat. And no way TeRRoR can stop that castle right now. His Trebs could maybe bring his Trebs through his base, try to attack the castle from over here. Maybe they could even reach it from inside where they'd be safe from the Hussar. But let's see. Has a lot of wood stockpiled, but he really needs to go for that halberdier upgrade. Those siege workshops not going to be finished. One Hussar going to come in from the back and start getting some damage on that ram for free. And now Melkor now going to be able to take that gold. Going to come down to this extra gold. Villagers are going to have to walk quite a long distance to get to that mining camp. But huge battle going on. TeRRoR now doing siege ram. But not going to be very useful against all these Hussar. Trying to add in more pikemen. But just not... He needs to do the halberdier upgrade, but he doesn't have the gold for it. And now he's lost villagers. Melkor now has the villager lead. As TeRRoR is going to try desperately just to push in with these pikemen, keep the Hussar at bay. Conquistador's getting some snipes of the pikemen. Siege ram now done. That'll help him push in, trying to put up more siege workshops. That castle still, after the initial push, just never went down. Never even needed to be repaired. Pikemen gonna get some nice hits on those Hussar, but only for attack. They don't have their blacksmith upgrades either. Not going to be as effective as they could be. And TeRRoR needs to deploy his trebs. Needs to do something to take out that castle and retake that gold. And Bracer, ballistics, hoardings coming in. That'll make the castle stronger with more HP. And Bracer, that will give Melkor, lots of archery ranges. Going to be hacking into skirmishers, which of course will serve to do well against the pikemen. And Melkor will be going into Hussar, skirmishers, and conquistadors with the trebs from behind. Could move the trebs forward to start taking out these buildings, and it looks like it's just a matter of time now before Melkor finally pushes back TeRRoR. But TeRRoR is going to hold on. He's not going to go down without a fight. Still putting more buildings up on the front. These siege workshops might finally get completed, but trebuchets now being deployed, targeting first the siege workshop. That'll go down pretty quickly. Siege rams will soak up some fire from the skirmishers, and TeRRoR kind of inching forward, but now just doing the armor upgrade on his pikemen. Still does not have the gold for halberdier. And skirmishers are getting some nice fire on the conquistadors, but TeRRoR is slowly dropping in population. 160 compared to Melkor's 200, and there's the GG. Not going to be able to hold on to this push, and Melkor started off the series down 2-0, but comes back. What a clutch castle snipe earlier with those trebuchets while it was being built. And oh man, that was a great game. TeRRoR, stronger economy, but Melkor was able to hold on just enough to produce from those castles. And so many dead bodies. Let's look at those achievements. Military stats. Yeah, Melkor did a lot better with the military, having 350 kills. Economy, TeRRoR did have a really strong economy, collected a lot more wood, but Melkor ended up with a lot more gold, and the exact same amount of stone for each player. TeRRoR took a long time to get up to Imp. Melkor was able to hold on, and those relics really giving him a boost too. That extra 4,000 gold from relics really helped him out a lot. Okay, so Melkor will now advance. Jon Snow has now dropped out. Single eliminations, there's no loser bracket. GG to both players. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.